Billie Eilish asked a room full of billionaires, why are you billionaires? And told them to give their money away. Now that's courage. No, that's a lack of education and understanding of how the world works from a girl whose net worth herself is over 50 million. Well, she just announced she's donating $11.5 million from her next tour to charity. So I can't see how you're against someone encouraging less greed and more philanthropy. You'll learn that a lot of the richest Americans don't just have their money sitting there. Elon, Bezos, Ellison, most of them have their money in stock ownership of the companies they built. Okay, they can sell their stock. Well, Larry Ellison, for instance, owns 40% of Oracle, and if he sold it all, the stock would plummet. Thousands would lose their jobs, and the shareholders, which include regular people with 401ks and teacher pension funds and retirement funds, would all be negatively affected. Well, Bill Gates owned 45% of Microsoft when it IPO'd in 1986. Today, he owns about 1%, so he gradually sold it off, and Microsoft is worth almost $4 trillion. So there's a way to do it without killing the stock. Well, many billionaires have signed the Bill Gates Give and Pledge, which is to give away at least half of their wealth before dying, but an issue you hear from many of them is how hard it is to give away so much money. I mean, the nonprofit infrastructure isn't great, and there's a lot of fraud, and you learn that money on its own, without proper systems behind it, is worthless. Like the state of California spends $42,000 a year per homeless person on the homeless, yet not much to show. So money doesn't solve everything. Well, fundamentally, money can drive human priority and action, and vast sums of money can act as a fuel to solve the biggest problems. Like there's many examples of philanthropy working. Harry Rosen, for instance, cut the crime rate in half and increased the high school graduation rate to 100% when he decided to pay for childcare and college for students in a small Florida town. The Gates Foundation has helped save millions of lives through global vaccination efforts. Mackenzie Scott has done a ton for disaster relief and HBCUs, so there's a way to do it right. Listen, adjusted for inflation and purchasing power, prior to the 1820s, 9 out of 10 people, almost everyone, lived on less than $1.90 a day. Today, that number is 1 out of 10, and I think the clear fundamental reason for this miracle is not nonprofits, but rather the economic growth and technological advancements that are bred from free markets and private companies. Greed is what drives innovation, which makes the world better for everyone. If you start demonizing people for making a lot of money, how do you do that in a free market system? You create a product or service that a lot of people find useful. If you start demonizing that, you'll get less innovation and less human prosperity. I think nonprofits and public institutions have played a big role in this growth as well. The polio vaccine, for instance, invented by a nonprofit. Literally the foundations of the internet, invented by the US DoD. So sure, private businesses and entrepreneurs have done a lot, but so have nonprofits. And I think in a time of extreme abundance, yet wage inequality out the doors, we can do a little more charity work and maybe shed a half point off top line GDP growth to ensure, for instance, millions aren't hungry. Yeah, well then all the great innovators and wealth and job creators will move to countries that don't demonize them. And you'll see, we will all just become poor. It's how socialism tends to go. No one was trying to flee West Berlin to East. Trust me, we are currently living in West Berlin. Quit it with the utopia thinking that only leads to hell. I'm just saying a little more balance will be good. There's a lot of greed in this country, not enough community. Everyone wants to be a day trader or e-commerce entrepreneur. No one wants to solve world hunger. Oh, trust me, we do. We just think that free markets are the best way there. Yeah, because free markets care about people who don't have money. Hey, look at the charts. Look at the charts. It's improving. There's a lot to be done. Trust me. I know. Do ya?